Record to the cloud. All right, and we'll begin. Three, two, and one. Very excited to have you all here today. The Critics' Choice Association is so excited for the fifth annual celebration of Latino cinema and television. I'm so happy to have everyone here right now. Toni, Jana, Maria, everyone here is part of the committee, and we are so excited for this. First and foremost, I'm going to go directly into the list, and we'll kind of just talk as we roll these things out. I'm going to start with the lady who I've talked to many times. I love everything about her. Dolores Huerta is amazing. I guess, Toni, do you want to begin with Dolores? I know I've seen a couple different documentaries. I've talked to her, and she is someone who's well deserving of being part of our celebration.
Where do you start with her? I mean, she is everything, an icon, a legend. She's a cornerstone, a touchstone for our community. It could not be more timely, more relevant to be giving her this honor. We are so pleased that she's going to be able to do it. And the fact that Gregory Nava is going to be giving her honor on behalf of the CCA. Is that not going to be a moment or what, ladies? What do we think about that?
Well, I
Yeah.
think that if I'm gonna get into it first, but I think that in the times that we live, it's important that we compromise with our leaders, and I think she's a leader. She's one of the first, and we need her voice. We need her voice, and the more that we give her the microphone, the better. It's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And for me, Dolores, like I wasn't born here, I wasn't raised here. But when I met, like when I get to know Dolores, I was like, oh my God, this woman, she's amazing. And yes, sí se puede. And I always have that on my like I always remember that. It's so amazing how come like someone that is not it's not, I didn't grow up with her, like mean a lot to me right now. Like, and it's so timely. And Gregory giving her the award, I think it's such an amazing moment, as you said,
It's
Toni.
so fantastic. Let me tell you, this tiny little woman has done more to galvanize our community and bring us together than I can't think of anybody else in our lifetime. Maybe Rita Moreno, but I mean, just Dolores is everything. We are incredibly honored and humbled that she will be in attendance with us.
Yeah,
And
I think
she is
both,
an icon.
Yes.
yeah. I think both of them, like Rita and Dolores, they meant a lot to us. And I think in a different ways. And both of them are very important. But Dolores, yes, sí se puede.
Well, she has carried us many, many years, many decades, and that's something which I'm sure she's proud of, but also probably tired too. She's like, haven't we fixed some things? Like, where are we back here again? So we're not going to get political, but I do want to say that she matters more every day, and everything she's done, like the echoes of it, are going to be forever. So I can't wait to see what she says at the celebration. It's going to be fantastic. Moving on down to our Vanguard Award, Mr. Andy Garcia, who, if anyone watches Landman, he's so great. But I mean, the amount of things you can go through with Andy Garcia, like it won't end. Let's start with Jana. Tell me a little bit about your thoughts about Andy Garcia taking the Vanguard Award from us.
No, I think he's such another icon. I'm gonna use the icon, but he's such an amazing actor, so talented, so nice. I met him like a couple of times, and then such a such a talent. You know what I mean? He has that. I don't know. There's something about him that's so special that he deserves all the awards, everything that he's receiving right now. And I love it. I love him as in Landman and Ocean's 11. He's very charming, and you know what I mean. He did Father of the Bride, the Latino version. He's so charming, so amazing, such a great guy. I love it.
Any
Well,
thoughts, Maria? Okay.
Well, I remember when when A Man Met a Woman came out. I was a teenager, and I fell in love with him. I thought, oh my God, I want to have a boyfriend that is like him in Mexico in that hotel. I want to be Meg Ryan, definitely. I think, and that was the movie that made him. And since then, he's been able to transform in everything. He's just been the romantic guy. He's been the untouchables. He's been bringing us, well, the Godfather. I've been bringing a Cuban flavor that it was missing in the movies. And I think it's one of a kind. It's one of a kind. He's a director. He's a producer. He's an actor. He's a member of our community. I think he's done a lot for the Latin industry, which means to be Latin in the industry. And I'm so proud to see that we are able to just recognize him with this award.
Well, and that's what, Maria, I'm going to pick up on what you had to say too. Yeah, we cannot dispute his long list of credits across the spectrum. But one of the things that impresses me the most about him is his advocacy for his community. I mean, Derek, I think you and I, maybe a year ago, were at a screening where he hosted a screening for a smaller independent Cuban film. That was phenomenal and fantastic. He broke down in tears and said, "This is from my community. This is from my childhood. I remember this." And it's that advocacy that he does for the community inside the larger film community he does for us that I just find incredibly touching. And the guy's always busy. I mean, if it's not Landman, I think we just got news that he signed on to do Pedro Pan, which I thought was phenomenal out
Oh,
of
yes,
Mexico.
yes, with Nestor. Yes, it's
Yes.
true.
Yeah.
So it's like this guy's always busy and he takes his roles seriously, but he also takes his advocacy seriously. And for that, he has my admiration.
We are actually going to our Trailblazer Award, and this is for America Ferrera. And so, Kathia, you're here right now. What do you think about not only her in this film, but also what she's done for the community? Because she's definitely somebody we look up to and somebody worthy of the spotlight.
I mean, I think, the fact that she's also produced things, I think shows, and not only that, but I think for her, it being cognizant of the casting, producing things that show the diversity and the beauty of our community, which is really, really important, hiring actors that are Afro-Latino and, have a little bit more of a tan, I think is always good because that's what our community looks like. I think for the Lost Bus, she plays a teacher we all know. We all went to, especially in elementary school, where we had a teacher that may not have been our direct teacher, but this is the teacher you went to when you were out in the playground. And this is the teacher you went to when for picture day that helped get you together to make sure that your hair is together, or if you forgot something, she had a little bit of extra. So to me, it's all part of who she is. And again, the fact that what she did with Ugly Betty and Women Who Have Curves, and also the fact that she's had a continuous career. Too often you have a project like Ugly Betty, and then you're like, what happened to the actor? I love this show. But with her, and again, taking on the producing hat and also what she's doing with Latinos as far as the voting effort, getting Latinos to understand it's important to register to vote if you're eligible. It's important to vote not just every 4 years, but in local elections. All of that speaks to who she is. And again, I can see when they were putting this movie together, they thought of her.
Toni, any thoughts on America?
I mean, first of all, I feel like we look a lot alike. So let's get that out of the way, shall we? No, again, she's got a long list of credits that we can go through, but really it's her advocacy for the community that I am just so in awe of. As Kathia mentioned, I won't belabor the point, but yes, politically, she's right there. She's always there to advocate for the community. But I really liked her in this role because she's being honored for The Lost Bus, of course, on Apple TV, which is out with Matthew McConaughey. And it's a great film about just fortitude and going through, but quietly, doing it in a very calm, non-dramatic way. And that to me really kind of speaks to who she is. She's got fortitude. She just goes through. She's not big and dramatic and splashy with it. She's just like, I'm going to bury my head. I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to succeed and we're going to get through this. And I really liked her for that role in Lost Bus. I think it parallels her a lot.
100%. Well, she is a trailblazer, and she is somebody that, as you can say, we've looked up to for some time now. And I think she stepped into that place without any real issue. Like she just kind of knew what she needed to do, and she's always delivered something that's been kind of special, especially to the community. Moving along, we are looking to the actor award, and this is Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein. I know a lot of us have seen this already. Any thoughts on Oscar? Who here has seen the film already?
Saw the film. I have to say he's phenomenal. He brings Victor a side of an artist. He's not a crazy scientist. He's not he brings this kind of like attitude that's just being elegant and seducing the audience in order to get what he wants, while you at the same time and thinking, oh, you're taking me to the wrong place. But you let yourself go with him. And I think that's what Oscar has. Oscar is just is able to convince you of everything. And you will buy anything that he sells, no matter what. And that's a great quality. And again, he defies the archetype. And I like the actors who defy the archetype, who want, especially in an industry who try to box everyone in something, no? And he defies with every single character that he plays, and that's absolutely wonderful for the community, I guess.
You know, he's also one of those people, much like Pedro Pascal, who is kind of goofy, and I like that about our leading men too. Like he's okay just being himself. He's worked in the industry for a bit to get where he is as well, and so I think he's delivered a lot. Not only that, I mean, he comes into Frankenstein with Guillermo del Toro, but I mean, Frankenstein, the story is really about Frankenstein's monster, and I think he understands that, and I think he really excelled in delivering Victor for who he needed to be and the questions he needed to ask and the things he needed to bring up as well. Jana, any last thoughts on Oscar Isaac?
I love him. He's such an amazing actor, and I remember him like in Dune, everything that he did. He's very like versatile. I hope I'm saying this correctly. Like he can bring, as Maria said, like he's not the Frankenstein, the Victor that we used to see, like this doctor, crazy doctor, but at the same time, he's on Dune, he plays at something completely different. So I love him for that.
Very cool. Well, I can't wait to see him. I think he's going to be great, and he always dresses great too. So I'm going to take some clothing ideas from him whenever I see him at award shows. Another great dresser, and more importantly, another great actor. Supporting actor award this year goes to Anthony Ramos for A House of Dynamite, which many of us have seen. And to say that you're counting down the minutes is an understatement. So, any thoughts, Toni, on Anthony?
Wow. First of all, that movie should come with a side of Xanax because it is so anxiety inducing. I loved Anthony in this role because he was just a regular military guy. And in this role, he's one of the guys who identifies like a missile that's coming to America, and we don't really know where it's coming from, but he's one of the first ones to kind of spot it. And he kind of sets this tone of, hey, let's not freak out, let's not panic, let's do our job, let's get in, let's get out. And I really identified with that for him because that's again how much he is very much about his career. Like, hey, let's identify what needs to get done. Let's check off our boxes before we raise the flag. And he was talented in this role. He was so good in it. And I do, though, think that he owes us a prescription for Xanax because that role was just, I was like this. I think a lot of us were in the screening going, oh my God, oh my God. Just like, I mean, Netflix has a really, directed by Catherine Bigelow, who us ladies are a really big fan of. Yeah, Anthony, the only thing I will say about him is he's a Dallas Cowboy fan, and I'm gonna come at peace with that before we do face to face next week. But other than that,
Wait a minute.
Almost
great pick.
perfect.
From New York. Well, that's a whole podcast in itself. Anthony's had an amazing year, right? It's not just he's kind of like bookending his year. So with Ironheart, with Bad Guys 2, he's put out music, right? He was trending on TikTok with his latest single and people dancing to his single. He was outside, as I like to say. He went to see Benito, and he's Puerto Rican, so of course he has great pride in seeing what Benito's doing with for Puerto Rico, and of course playing the halftime show. So I think, he's definitely somebody that is living his best life, and rightfully so, because remember his first big on-screen role was in A Star Is Born, and then for him to pivot and go to this and having led major franchises, I think is really amazing. He recently said something on the Pivot, which I think, which is a podcast, which Ryan Clark and Fred Taylor and host. And I think that the beauty of what he said is, once I started saying, when I walk into the room, you're going to get my authentic self, meaning the Bronx kid, meaning that he's Latino, meaning he speaks with this accent. That's when things started really going his way, because when he was trying to be everything and anything that everybody else wanted him to be. And I think that's a powerful message for Latinos, especially in this climate. A lot of them are struggling. I have an accent. I speak English, but I don't speak English like this. Or I come from a single mom background. I don't come from, theater, and I didn't go to Juilliard. So I think that's a beautiful example of somebody that can show you is you don't have to be those things. Not that there's anything wrong with it. And you can still be successful, and you can still build a really great resume. So I'm definitely thrilled for him. And he's also a fun interview. Like when you interview him, he's not one of those people where, they're like, ooh, sourpuss. So really, really looking forward. I know his speech is going to be fire at the celebration.
I know that's
Yeah.
right.
And I mean, anyone who loves Broadway knows him very well. Everything from Hamilton to In the Heights, and then of course, we always cover the bases with our Transformers fandom as well too. So
Right.
he's got a lot of irons in the fire. So we'll talk to him there. Next, we're looking to our Breakthrough Actress Award, and this is Camila Perez for Acapulco, which is one of my favorite shows, and that should be the soundtrack to every party I'm ever at ever. But I guess let's start there. Let's say, Maria, is there any thoughts on Camila?
Well, I mean, I love Acapulco. I have to say, it's one of those shows that you put on just to feel good about yourself. And I think the chemistry that she has with all the cast is difficult to beat. It's really fun. It's cute. What can I say? It's just one of those actresses that you need that come up, once in a while and see what's able to do in the future. No, we are just starting to see what she's able to do, but we need to see more actually.
Very cool. Any other thoughts on Acapulco? I know some fandom here as well.
Yes.
Jana or Toni?
Yeah, I love Acapulco as well. I'm so sad that it's like getting to an end. I was like, no, we need more of those characters. I need more of those music scenes, like the music in Espanol. I love that. I think it's amazing, and she's such a sweetheart. Like, it's such a easygoing person, an actress that it's easy to talk to her. And then she was very excited about Acapulco when she first came out, and then I was able to interview her like for the 4 seasons, and she was like, and then you see how much she involved throughout, and she grows a lot as an actress. And then I hope she get interesting like projects in the future. That's my wish for her. I cannot wait to see her more.
I agree with Acapulco. I mean, with the whole '90s, we can do with Acapulco still too. There's a lot of
Yeah.
music we can get to as well. Let's go next to Breakthrough Actor Award, Kiss of the Spider Woman, Donatello. So, any thoughts there? I know I saw this at Sundance. Did you see Kiss of the Spider Woman at Sundance as well, Toni?
Yes, I think I texted probably 2 or 3 of you on this chain and immediately after that screening and said, this guy needs his Oscar outfit immediately. Absolutely phenomenal. This movie belongs to the fellas, both him and Diego Luna. Holy cow, he is phenomenal. It doesn't matter how good I say, it's still not good enough. That's how amazing he is in this role. He sings his heart out. I can't say enough good things about him. This role was meant for him. He owns this movie. It is absolutely no question why it is that he's getting on for this. Roadside with Kiss of the Spider Woman. Of course, we've got this new up and comer, Jennifer Lopez. this guy Diego Luna. I don't know if you guys have heard about him. Like they're kind of, he's kind of sandwiched in between these newcomers, and he absolutely holds his own. I have nothing but good things to say about him and his performance in this role.
Well, his dual character role in it too really makes a difference for a lot of things, and it really says a lot. Any thoughts, Katya?
I think as someone who was lucky enough to have seen the 1993, and we will not do the math on that, show with Cheetah Rare, who I just adore, you know what I mean? Like I'm a musical girl and I love a good musical. And this was like probably I said to myself, my only chance to ever get to see her, right? And the pizzazz, and then lucky enough, I scored tickets again to see Vanessa Williams. So this is a musical that not a lot of people know and know the music from. It's more like if you're a theater head or you're a fan of certain people, right? And when I tell you, I was prepared, I went into it like, oh, I know the music, I know like the different things, and you sit there and you do your little bops. But I agree with Toni. It's hard to outdo Jennifer Lopez. There's no shade, just tea. But he did that. And just the way the camera lights him when he starts talking about Ingrid and the love and he's setting up the scene. I just think he was the right actor in the moment and the two clashed and he understood the assignment. And again, he's playing this person who is, I think it's very important, this person who is not, he doesn't see himself. And through this relationship, he learns to finally step into who he fully is without embarrassment, without shame. And he finally is loved. And on top of that, the music. But listen, I'm with Toni. It's about the two guys, and he is just brilliant in it. And I pray that enough people see it so that he can go all the way through awards season. But yeah, I said in my review, you may come for Jennifer Lopez, but you're staying for Toni.
Oh,
Right.
perfectly said.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
100% too. And then, Bill Condon is such a great director. He gives the spotlight, and whoever needs to take it in any of his films takes it. I think this was one great example of that as well. Moving along, I did not see this, so I'm going to ask people to raise their hand here. Who saw Gabriel Luna in Devil in Disguise, John Wayne Gacy? I didn't get a chance to see this, but I love
Me
Gabriel.
neither.
So Toni, go ahead. If you and Kathia, I guess, saw it, please tell us a little bit about Gabriel on this.
So at first I was a little apprehensive when I saw the title months ago, because it's like another serial killer thing, right? And it's like, wow, okay, how is this story going to be told differently? And I will say that it's Gabriel Luna who is the key to telling this story differently. He plays Detective Rafael Tovar. And what I like about what he did with this role is that he took it a step further and told it from like the victim's point of view. He took the detective's point of view as opposed to just glorifying the serial killer who killed all of these people. Of course, we're talking about John Wayne Gacy, and he plays one of the detectives who is kind of key and instrumental in bringing him down. And he plays a real life detective, and he just cannot let this go. He cannot. Are there more bodies? Are there more people? He really humanizes this story in such a way that I don't think a lot of other programs do when they take on serial killers like this. And for that, I think he was the entire key in making this entire series different. And he's phenomenal in it. And he related so much to the character. The original detective is from Texas. He's from Austin. He relocated up to where the area was, and he just identified with him. So he was able to take a lot of touchstones from his own life and plant them into the character. And I think that really shows through in his performance. It doesn't surprise me at all that he's being honored, and that it was an easy pick for all of us here on the committee to kind of just say, yes, absolutely, Gabriel Luna. And this is on top of This Is Us. And this is on top of The Astronaut, which was on at South by Southwest this year. I mean, this guy has had a busy year. This is his breakthrough role. I loved it for him this year. What about you, Kathia? What do you think?
I mean, I think this is the thing. I always tell people we got to get out of the mindset of now. We didn't have the cooperation in between police departments. We didn't have the computer system set up. So therefore, unfortunately, these guys were able to continue to move how they moved and kill how they kill. And we don't often think about the toll that it takes on these detectives who are immersed, who feel a responsibility to solve that. And I think you get to see that a lot through him, his diligence, and the fact that, you know, the guild, that how you're just trying to stop, just get something so you can stop the madness. And I think again, he does a really, really good job, because we either get the killers, like Toni said, or we get the victims, but we don't get the people who are literally dedicating everything that they have to stop the crazy people. And I think we see that, you know, and that's the commitment. And most importantly, I think, yes, he's playing a Latino, but you don't have to be. As too often as we've seen with some of these roles, people think, well, I'm not Latino. Why would I watch this? Like, that's not my community. You do not.
Yeah.
You should be watching everything, first of all, but you don't have to be Latino necessarily in order to understand his character and to appreciate the performance. Do you know what I mean? It just happens to be, in this particular case, this detective, but this could have been anybody, and you're connecting with his humanity and just all of the challenges that he's facing, but still. And again, it's always hard when you play a real character, but like Toni said, his resume, another guy, you may not know his name, but you know his face because he's been in
Yeah.
in anything, you know?
100%. I definitely going to watch that, and I think a lot of people should put it on their list as well, especially with all the fans out there of murder mysteries, documentaries, and any true life crime kind of stuff. So we'll definitely delve into that. Moving on, though, we are going to talk about the Showrunner Award. One of the most celebrated and loved shows this year is The Studio, and Frida Perez is one of those people who makes it happen and allows great things to bloom. So, anyone have any specific first thoughts on Frida?
Well, I
Love,
interviewed
love.
her. Yeah, I interviewed her for The Studio. I think she's a blazer. I mean, she just can't go and convince Apple that this is her thing, and she did. And I think that is important, just to recognize that a woman is in charge of this show that represents Hollywood. That it just talks about the it's a meta show about the inners of what is going on in this city, no? We well in Los Angeles, we are living in a time that this show was necessary, and she knew, and she, you see, is a number one.
Yeah, her perception, like I think there's a little bit of her perception, the Latino eye of the what happened behind the scenes, like on the studios. It's such an amazing show. When I watched the first episode, I was like, oh my God, what's going on here? And and then getting to know that it was her doing it, was Frida doing it, writing and taking care of that, and convince Apple to take that it's amazing, such an amazing accomplishment for her and for the Latino community as well.
I almost feel
Well,
like
no,
asking her, you know, what is this your lived experience? Because we all know, right, of that Latinos, especially saying, I go there with this passion project of mine and I have it really laid out. And they go, I love it, but can they go to outer space? Can you throw in like, you know, a fight scene? And you're like, this is about a migrant family, you know, immigrating to America. Why would there be a fight scene? And it's almost like when you're watching and you know Latina's behind it, that she's had some meetings like that where people are, you know, taking a really normal idea and wanting to Hollywood it, you know. So I definitely want to ask her, you know, is this coming from a lived experience where somebody is like pitching you something and you're just like, are you really serious? Like, are you serious? And I think that probably what makes it so great. But the show is like a celebration of absurdity.
Yeah, maybe she had jaritos on the script, and then they thought, no, it needs to be Kool-Aid,
Yeah, I know,
something like
right?
that, right?
yeah.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I know is with all the different talent that hit that show, the showrunner had to juggle a lot of attitudes and egos and different things to make that happen. So she's probably got some stories from this alone. Last one up, director award for The Secret Agent. Now how do you say his name?
Kleber Mendonça Filho.
Please, Jana, tell us about him.
Oh my God, I'm such an amazing director. And this is already, it's been, I don't know how many years that he's been doing great projects. And in Brazil, he used to be a critic like us, like he writing critics about movies, and then he decided to come in this, become a director and write his own movies, his own stories. And it's such a great and accomplished for him, even winning the Cannes Film Festival as a director for The Secret Agent. And the movie is really beautiful, like, and have Wagner Moura on it, which is, this is their first collaboration together. But he's such an amazing director. He deserves all the awards that he's been receiving right now, and I love that for him. Cannot wait for him to get shortlisted for the Oscars and then get to nominate to the Oscars. I don't know if he's gonna receive an Oscar this year, but you never know. But I hope that's our wish as a Brazilians.
Well, speaking of the Oscars, I mean, The Secret Agent is Brazil's official entry into the international feature category for the Academy Award. So maybe, knock on wood, he'll get two. Like, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah,
Um,
agree,
that would be great. That film is spectacular. It's well worth the running time. It's textured. It's just, and it's based off of a simple question that, what happens when we die and those who remember us are gone? We live an entire life full of chaos and just drama and life. And if nobody is there to witness it, or those who are there to witness it are gone, what happens? It's such an interesting concept, but such a rich story, and he does such a great job. And spoiler alert, there's a leg in there.
Yes.
No,
He always,
it just-
that's his touch on all his movies, aside from the last one that was a documentary. But all these movies, they have something like kind of a folkloric
yeah,
touch on it, and this one is the leg.
I love it.
Amazing.
I love it.
I
Well,
think
very
right
cool.
now is also, I think we know, and I don't know how many people know, but the last president of Brazil was really trying to kill a lot of, Brazil's always supported the arts, right? And
Yeah.
there's always been government funding and things like that. And he was trying to kill this effort. And during this time, we're getting these really more deep and thought-provoking and just things that question who we are as Brazilians, our past, and where we want to go. And I think this is a continuation of that conversation, a very important conversation, because again, our democracy is very young. It's only about 40 years old. It's, compared to other nations. And I think, these movies say that, and it's very much shows that Brazilian cinema is very much alive and thriving. And most importantly, it's resonating with people outside of Latin America, outside of Brazil. And as we all probably say continuously, some of the best films being made right now are not in English, and this is a perfect example.
Yeah, and what's funny, because
100%.
all these projects that's coming out right now, like I'm Still Here, Secret Agent, there's a lot of them, like the Blue Train, a lot of them was like they were made while the other president was in power, and you see how much they wanted those projects to be still alive, so they trying to find funds whenever they found, just to release those movies. That's
Well,
amazing.
and it does ask the interesting question of, history is always written by the victors, right?
Yeah.
This movie challenges that very ideal, and
Mhm.
it's a
Yeah.
great way. It's a great conversation piece. I loved it. It was a great movie.
Amazing, amazing. We have another movie that it was like the Argentina, Belén, and the international award actress for Dolores Fonsi, right?
Yeah, that's the official Argentinian. Like, we have on, how proud are we, guys, that we have two official Latin American international features for the Academy Awards: The Secret Agent that we were just talking about, and Belén for Argentina, which is another, Kathia, to your point, another conversation that's a hard one to have politically, incredibly relevant. about a woman who went into the hospital for a miscarriage, ends up in jail for 2 years with no due process, no real representation at all. It's directed and stars Dolores Fonzi. I mean, and she's phenomenal in this film.
And
I'm,
she wrote, she directed, she
Mhm.
produced, and she's acting on it. And she's such an amazing actress in Argentina. And this project is like really, really, really amazing, really beautiful.
It is. I'm telling you, Latin
100%.
American.
Yeah. I recommend everybody to see it. You are pulled in from the door. And again, you do not need to speak Spanish to empathize with these characters. No need to do you need to be Latino. And it shows the power and strength of women when we work together. Do you know what I mean? And we push and we work hard. And the character she plays is also somebody, I feel like there's two heroines in this movie, Belen and then her attorney, who also risked her livelihood and her safety and the safety of her family to take this issue on because people were working really deliberately. And again, it's based on a true story. It's based on and again, this was not 400 years ago, people, or
Oh,
50 years
like,
ago. This is very recent as well. And you think of, oh, Argentina is pretty modern in many, many ways. Why would women have to go through this? And then you realize again, it's men running things, men making decisions about women's bodies. And that's how and it took women organizing, working together. And for people that are listening, this Belen is Jane Doe, right? Because
yeah,
it's so that she can have some privacy, the real Belen, and so that's why they chose it. But it is a very strong performance in a perfect world, right? She
yeah.
would really be considered for best actress. I think her performance is that strong in a perfect world. There's some guilt that can slip her in, but she is phenomenal. And I highly recommend, like, if it's playing in a film festival, you have an art house, theater, go buy a ticket and
Yeah.
see this film.
At least they are able to become legal. In Brazil, abortion is still illegal. So for you to see, this is
I know
2025. Yeah,
that's insane because this film, Belen, takes place
yeah,
in 2014. That's
yeah,
11 years ago.
Yep.
11.
Not 50, not 60. It literally, like, I
Yeah.
think sometimes, right? I think like when I watch movies like that and I go, this wasn't happening when I was a little kid or before I was born.
no,
This is literally happening when I was a young adult. Like imagine I'm like, oh, if I lived there, I wouldn't have this right. If I lived here, I wouldn't have this right. And again, it makes you really appreciate and understand why it's important to fight for these things. And it's not necessarily an economic thing, it's not a color thing, it's just a human rights issue.
I want to
I
just
hope
mention that Dolores understands the media. Dolores is an actress that, as Andy Garcia, transformed herself from being a pretty lady in soap operas to become this master director who has a movie that it creates a conversation all over Latin America, all over the world, that is very necessary, especially if you are going to present it to the Academy Oscars in the United States, when in the United States you need this conversation. So I think that she's very, very interesting. She knows the media. She was married to an actor and now a director. She's working non-stop in TV and movies, and she's able to just bring us to a place where we see that what happened 10 years ago, it makes us realize that it's happening today. So times doesn't pass by, is that we need to just keep the conversation alive, because if we don't keep it alive is when we forget about these stories. And I think that's the most important thing that she does. She keeps the conversation that is important alive, and I really admire her for that.
I hope everybody
100%.
is as proud of all of these nominees as we are. These honorees are fantastic. I mean, every one of these selections is choice.
It's going to be a
Very much so.
beautiful program. Yeah. It's going to be these movies all say something, you know. Even in Frankenstein, it teaches you humility. You know, your ego can be the problem. You know, you start off with good intentions, but when you make it about yourself, that's when things become a little interesting, you know. And I think each one of these movies, in its own ways, and television shows are showing the power of the human spirit, and also what happens when, you know, you get full of yourself. You know, there are real consequences for that. So I think it's very interesting how we all gravitated to these works.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, the fifth annual Critics' Choice celebration of Latino cinema and television. We talked about the honorees. All we need now is just to go through this amazing event. And I can't wait to see everyone there. More importantly, I can't wait for all of our nominees to take this and also talk a little bit about their process and just being part of it too. So I thank you all for being part of this. Critics' Choice Association always wants to celebrate everyone and every part of our community. And I think that this award show gets better every year. So congratulations to everyone here. Congratulations to all of our nominees.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
Derek,
Thank you
for
so
doing
much.
this. I really appreciate it.
This was fun. Thank you.
Bye.
Very
Thank
cool.
you.